Do you feel you invest more emotionally in your relationships than your partner? Do you secretly desire the intimacy of a relationship, but simply cannot seem to allow anyone to get close? According to psychiatric research and psychoanalyst Bowlby, there are 4 attachment types, and these attachment types usually develop in the early stages of childhood and linger over time. Therefore, the way you relate or bond with your partner in a relationship may be a manifestation of how you perceived your parents or primary guardian as a child. In this video, we're going to look at the 4 attachment types. Number 1. Anxious attachment style. This attachment style usually begins from a childhood, in which parents have inconsistent patterns of parenting, or are over-controlling. Parents from this type are generally a product of parents who also had a similar attachment style, not because of genetically acquired traits or characteristics, but behavioral patterns that they've nurtured. Over time, these insecurities reveal themselves later on in adult relationships. Individuals with this attachment type frequently try to find their safety in parents' attention, receptiveness, and care. This is due to their fear of neglect that they had as kids. They have a tendency of holding others in high regard, but have a disapproving self-image. People with an anxious attachment style often see their partner as the better half, and the thought of them living a life without them present in it usually causes a high level of anxiety in the relationship. Individuals with an anxious attachment style find it hard to be alone because they value relationships so greatly. Also, they have a habit of always being worried that their partner isn't as invested as they are in the relationship. When there's an absence of their partner's validation, they become more demanding and clingy. This is because they are preoccupied with the relationship and the desperate need for love. Number 2. Avoidant attachment style. Just as anxiously attached individuals, avoidant attachment style also has roots in inconsistent parenting. Individuals with avoidant attachment styles are most of the time a product of emotionally unavailable parents. Individuals with avoidant attachment styles are often discouraged from displaying their feelings as kids, not regarding if the feelings were good or bad. This goes a long way towards bullying adults who avoid deep connections with others, and oftentimes they're faced with emotional situations and they suppress their feelings. They usually regard themselves as lone wolves, independent, strong, and self-sufficient individuals. This is because as a child, they couldn't count on any comfort from their parents or guardian. People with this attachment style usually disregard the idea of needing a relationship to feel whole, and they do not seek approval or support from those around them. They can find some fulfillment in relationships because they tend to have low expectations and lower regard for others. As pleasing as it may be for them, these connections can be complex for others who want to get to know them better, since people with avoidant attachment styles rarely ever allow anyone to get close to them. Number 3. Anxious-avoidant attachment style. Anxious-avoidant attachment style is usually a result of childhood abuse or trauma. People with such attachment styles tend to have had problems in building stable relationships. This is because the feeling of a sense of security and safety needed in childhood was absent when they were faced with the experience of fear. As a result of this, people with anxious-avoidant attachment styles have a negative view on both themselves and others. They both have characteristics of anxious attachment style and also avoidant attachment style. Like traits of avoidant attachment style, anxious-avoidant attached people also have the fear of letting anyone get too close, but they also crave intimacy. In other words, they're just too afraid of opening up and letting people in. As a result of having both attachment styles, their partner becomes a source of desire and fear. These individuals usually find it hard to control their emotions, and they often stay away from deep emotional attachment as they are afraid of getting hurt. Because of these traits, people with an anxious-avoidant attachment style often end up alone or usually in abusive and toxic relationships. Number 4. Secure attachment style. Unlike the first 3, where individuals lacked security and stability from their guardians or parents in childhood, secure attachment style individuals had a lot more security and stability in their growing up as children. Individuals with such attachment styles are able to grow healthy relationships as adults because they have a positive outlook on themselves and others. They are very comfortable in expressing their emotions openly. They can grow healthy relationships based on acceptance, honesty, and intimacy. Securely attached people naturally thrive in relationships because they can have contentment with themselves. After telling you about all 4 attachments listed in this video, you most likely identify yourself with at least one of them, or maybe even several. Looking back on your childhood, you may be able to see some patterns such as attachments, whether good or bad. These attachment styles are not fixed, and they are susceptible to change over time, and even from one relationship to another. For instance, just as an anxious and avoidant individual might be prone to experiencing problems with both ends, securely attached individuals can bring stability to a relationship with any of the other attachment styles. Learning how to connect with others can be a great help and a good start to changing your attachment style and self-improvement, so don't give up. Have you ever been faced with any individuals with any of these attachment styles? Let us know your thoughts down below and drop a like while you're there.